The New South Wales Premier has faced fierce questioning over his government's pledge to not increase existing taxes and not introduce new taxes over the next 4 years. Kenny Heatley is live for us in Western Sydney. Kenny, it is a nice line to win an election, of course, but what's the problem here?
Yes, well, the Premier was here at this business in Western Sydney to make this pledge, quite a major one, that in the 4 years that they govern, if re-elected, they will not raise existing taxes and they will not introduce any new taxes. Now, Labor has made the same promise, but Premier Dominic Perrottet says they can't be trusted on this issue.
No new taxes, because we believe in lower taxes. And that's why here in New South Wales, our government has cut taxes 33 times. And what does that do? It gives opportunities for businesses and families across New South Wales. Now, Labor have come out today and said they're matching it. Well, no, they're not, because they're running on a platform to put a massive stamp duty bill on home buyers across New South Wales.
But the Premier also made this statement in the press conference this morning.
I've said we are not privatising assets. I can't be clearer. I've said it every press conference.
Which would be a fundamental shift away from how they've governed. Already, Premier Dominic Perrottet has called it asset recycling, where he takes a major public-owned asset like WestConnex, sells it off to fund future projects. Labor leader Chris Minns says he can't be trusted on this issue.
Unfunded infrastructure means more privatisation for New South Wales. Whether it's Warragamba Dam, whether it's road projects that are unfunded, whether it's major infrastructure initiatives that they say they're going to deliver to the people of New South Wales, if there's an asterisk attached and they haven't explained where the money will come from, it will come from the sale of Sydney Water and the rest of the electricity assets.
Kenny, I see there's some speculation that a popular Western Sydney mayor could derail Labor's election prospects. How so?
Well, both sides are accusing each other of budget black holes, and a big contentious issue is around Sydney Metro. It's a major infrastructure project. Labor has said they're going to put a pause or suspend progress on the Western Sydney Airport to Northwest Metro line and the Southwest Metro line until they can guarantee, if they're elected, that it will be delivered on time and to budget. Now, here was Chris Minns on this just this morning.
There's no point putting planning money into stage 2 if stage 1 is on the verge of being cancelled. And I think anyone on that corridor, whether you live closer to Sydenham or west of Bankstown, wants some clarity as to whether that Southwest Metro line will go ahead at all.
But that could cause some big issues for Chris Minns. Now, if polls tells us anything, at the moment, we may be heading towards a hung parliament, which means that Chris Minns will need support from the crossbench to form a minority government. And there's a very popular Western Sydney mayor in Fairfield called Frank Carbone, who's absolutely furious, and he's threatening to potentially run maybe in the seat of Cabramatta. Here is what Frank Carbone told Sky News this morning.
It looks like it's going to be a minority government. I mean, you could have a huge amount of power as an independent, whichever way.
I'll put my community first. My community has missed out for far too long.
There's two things that you disagree with Chris Minns on vehemently. So how could you back him on that?
Well, I can't back him on transport. There's no doubt about that. Right. I'll make that really clear.
And you don't back him on gambling? What do you
back him on? I don't back him on gambling because I live in this community and I know the problems of gambling.
And we know there's other independents on the crossbench right now. They have to be re-elected, but they support Dominic Perrottet over gambling reforms, over Chris Minns. So more potential problems if there is potentially a hung parliament. Ash.